Uh, Another part of the package is to use the dominant of connectives. I mentioned earlier as which one is the dominant. As long as we have the grouping symbol, so we can identify which one on the left side, the right side, or what quantity on the left, on the right, and so forth. But in the case that you do not have the grouping symbol within the statement, so how do you identify which one is the most dominant one, which one is the least dominant connective in the symbolic form? So make a list in order. Negation is the least, and or they are the same level, so it doesn't matter. Usually you do from the left to the right, and the next level gonna be if then. The least, the most dominant gonna be if and only if. So as in the order here, so this is the least dominant, this is the most dominant. So go from the top to bottom here. Okay. For example, if you have the statement in the form of P then Q and not R, and P and Q then not R, just like put the connective in different places. And if we don't have the grouping symbol provided by the problem, you just look at the order, the list order, the list dominant can be negation, and we have the and, we have the if then. You can check out from the list that I put in over here. As you see, we have negation, we have if then, no, we have and, or we have the if then. So the most dominant gonna be for the first one gonna be if then. That means we're gonna group the left and group the right. And similar to the second one, when the if then changes the position, whether on the left side of the arrow, all considered as one group, and then the right side as one group. Okay, that's the way to identify or consider the order of the connective or the dominance of the connective. Okay, in the case that we have the word, how do you know which one, like in the case that we do not have symbolic form, how do we know which one is the least dominant, which one is uh, the least or the most dominant connective? From the example that I put on the in the package, we have for number 2, I put here example. We have the same two statements. It's similar, but the difference is one has a comma sign, the other one doesn't have the comma sign. So in part A, said if there is too much homework or a teacher is boring, then I do not take that class. While part B is exactly the same, there is too much. I should have copied, right? But the difference of part A and part B is part B has the comma sign right before or. Actually, this one doesn't have if in the front here. So gonna be there is, so there is too much homework, or if a teacher is boring, then I do not take that class. Use the same simple statements, but the way of the connective is just the if then that they are not in the right position for the words, but the or is still there. And also have the comma sign as part of the sentence in part B. So for this situation, if the problem doesn't define the simple statement for you, like what are P, Q, and R, you have to set it up on the side. Or I will ask you to define the simple statement like let P be, let's just go along with what you have here. There is too much homework. That's a statement P. Statement Q, a teacher is boring. And statement R represent I do not take that class. Usually when you define, if no specific instruction, you in the common way, we identify or define the statement as the non-negation form. So we usually define the statement R as I take that class. Okay. So when we define P, Q, and R for the statement in the A, we see the if then, we see the or. Okay. And when you define the too, the first one, too much homework is the statement P. So we're going to make a list here P, the or. A teacher is boring, which is the Q. Then I do not take that class. So that is the negation of the R. But as you see, if then they are bounding the statement that has the or in there. What's the or? I put the wrong connective here. So it's supposed to be uh, the V, normal V for the or. Okay, so if then, so if the whole thing here, including the connective or in there, then not R. So this is a symbolic form for part A. Instead, for part B, we have the comma sign. As long as you see the comma sign, so that means any connective right next to the comma sign is the main connective or the dominant connective. So for part B, the dominant connective going to be the or. So put or here. Anything on the left, we put parentheses. Anything on the right, we put in the parentheses. So on the left, there is too much homework. That's just the statement P. So it's not necessary to put the parentheses around. So we can omit that. And then for the right hand side of the or is the if then statement. So if then, teacher is boring, which is the Q. And I do not take that class, which is the opposite of the R. So this is how to write in the symbolic form of part B.